Now let's take a look at one of the first tasks you will tackle as a community visioning intern. Before any community analysis can be completed, the visioning office has to produce large format base maps to work from. As an intern, you will assist in the production of these maps using ArcMap and Adobe Illustrator. The video tutorial that follows will show you the visioning office's preferred method for producing base map graphics. It should be noted that this tutorial was developed for persons with some experience using ArcMap and Adobe Illustrator. If you have no experience with these programs, or you would just like to improve your skills, you should use your login ID to access software tutorials on lynda.com. Spending the 6 hours required to complete Up and Running with ArcGIS and Up and Running with Illustrator on lynda.com will help you grow significantly as a student and as a young professional. When creating base maps for the communities, GIS work is typically completed using the ISU extension PC laptops, and graphic refinements are completed on the Mac workstations where the final products will be saved. The two different operating systems are used for this process because ArcGIS was designed to work with Microsoft operating systems, and the large screen Mac workstations are more convenient for doing graphic work. You should also have your Visual Vocabulary Standards manual handy, because you will need to reference the information inside. First, let's identify the data that is needed. Review a map of the visioning communities for this year and make a list of the counties where the communities are located. If a community is located near a county border, also add that nearby county to the list. Now open up your Visual Vocabulary Standards manual and find the Map Hierarchy Layers diagram. Take note of the layers listed in the hierarchy. For the purpose of this tutorial, Pocahontas and Leon will be the visioning communities, so I will need data for Pocahontas and Decatur counties. Now we need to acquire our data. The data source you use for making maps with ArcGIS is very important because the systems used to counteract the shape of the Earth produces very different outputs. For example, this is the shape Iowa takes on when using the mapping system preferred by the Iowa DOT. The data is mapped this way to retain high levels of accuracy in road measurements. This is the shape that Iowa takes on when using the mapping system preferred by the Iowa DNR. Community visioning prefers the latter system because it retains the shape people are familiar with while also retaining fairly high levels of spatial accuracy. So let's get started. Open a web browser and search for NRGIS to find the Iowa Department of Natural Resources Geographic Information Systems Library. It is typically the first result in search inquiries. Click to enter the site. Notice that there is statewide data and countywide data. You will use a combination of the two to create community base maps. Now I would like you to pause the video and take 30 minutes to an hour to explore this website and the different types of data it houses. Learning to use this website and its contents can be a valuable skill set as you continue through your degree program. Now that you are familiar with the site, let's get what we need. At the statewide level, you will need incorporated_cities_2010, railroads_current, Iowa_roads_2006, interstates, highways, NHD_water body, and stream_order. At the countywide level, you will need 2013_NAIP contours_airphoto and contours_2ft for each county on your list. Click on these links as you find them to begin downloading them to the computer's Downloads folder. Downloading the data may take an extended period of time. Locate a data stick that you can use to store data and ArcMap files and insert it into one of the laptop's USB ports. On the stick, you should set up a top-level project folder and a data folder located within it. All the compressed data that was downloaded should now be extracted into the data folder on the data stick. Simply right-click on the compressed file, select Extract All, and define the extraction location as the data folder. Once all of the data has been extracted, you are ready to start working with ArcMap. Double-click the ArcMap icon to initiate its startup. Remember, ArcGIS does not like spaces or special characters in file names. Close the opening dialog and save the project where you have the data stored. Name it Visioning and the Year. Click the Add Data button and navigate to your data and add all the files. ArcMap will now render the files you have added. To save on rendering time, work with only one set of county files at a time. Now zoom in on the county you are working with. This is Decatur County. To find Leon, I will simply turn on the city names. Zoom in on the community and include any major roads near the perimeter of the city. Adjust the view to include some local context. Now go to Layout View and open Page and Print Setup. Change the orientation to landscape, uncheck paper settings, and change the paper to ArcE. Adjust the frame so that it fills the entire page. Then switch back to Data View and zoom back in on the community. Then return back to Layout View. Now add a scale bar, which will be redrawn in Illustrator, and adjust it to be 1 mile long. Once adjusted, resituate it at the bottom left corner of the map. You can add a north arrow as well, but they do not always transfer correctly. Now go to File, Export Map. Save it as an Adobe Illustrator file. I am saving over this file from a test earlier today. Though shortened for this tutorial, this will take quite some time due to the ArcE document size. Now shut off all of the layers but Iowa Roads 2006 and turn on the labels. You will have to go into the properties and change the label name to 911 to display street names. Now change the symbology to display no color and export these street names as a separate Illustrator file. Now we switch over to the Mac. Start a new folder on the desktop and name it The Year plus Visioning. Open the data stick and navigate to the Illustrator file for your community. Double-click to open it and wait for Illustrator to initialize. Press OK and open on the pop-up dialogs that appear. Once the map appears, change the view to fit to screen. Now open up the Labels layer, then go to File, then Place to find the Labels file. Ignore the PNG file format I used. You will use Illustrator formatting. You can turn the layer off and on. It is hard to see because of the large document size, but the labels are there. Recreate this scale bar by illustrating over top of it. Remembering that it was 1 mile, add the missing labels using Arial font. Another thing you can do to improve the files is to pull the clipped vector features up out of the several layers of clipping masks. They are unnecessary because ArcMap cuts away everything outside of the mask. Remember to save your file in the folder you created on the desktop. From this point, all you need to do is apply the visual standards found in the Visual Vocabulary Standards Manual to each layer on the map. Also, don't forget to stack the layers correctly using the hierarchy. Once completed, you should export the file as a PNG at 150 dpi. That PNG will be your final product, and that's all there is to it.